Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about the brand new record from Oh Hiroshima, Oscillation, out July 26 on Napalm Records. The album has 7 tracks and is 49 minutes in length. This is the band's third studio album and it's been 4 years in the making. If I was to describe this record in one word and one word only, it would have to be atmospheric. That is pretty much the common denominator through every single track on this record. This record really feels almost like it could be used as a soundtrack or a score to TV series like Dark, Rain, or Stranger Things. It just has all the elements that are predominant in those TV series, but in a musical format. It has atmospheric elements, it has darkness, it has energy, it has beauty, it has pain, suffering. All of those elements are present within this record. This to me is a record that is not about how the songs are structured or how the record is structured or the twists and turns that we'll give to the listener. No, this is a record that really is dominated by two key elements. Two elements that, in my opinion, are the driving forces of the album and the driving forces behind that atmospheric element that the overall record has, and that is the guitar and the vocals. To me, those are the two key elements of this record. Perhaps the guitars more than the vocals. I'll start off with the guitars. This album has an incredible guitar sound. It's beautiful, it's deep, it's abstract at the same time, but it just has a sound that's extremely captivating, that really allows the listener to be carried away in its arms, in its warm embrace. That is the signature sound as far as the guitars are concerned on this record. When you add the vocals to it as the second element, the vocals also come in almost as another atmospheric element. They don't come in to really convey a story because the story is already being conveyed by the music itself. The vocals are just there to add another layer, to add another element to the sound, to create volume, to create thickness, to create an ambiance. That perhaps is the better way to describe how the vocals are used. The tracks overall just have this cloudy haze feel to it, and then the vocals just come in almost as angels whispering in your ears. That is the dynamic that you get between the guitars and the vocals on every single track, or at least in every single track where vocals are used. There's also a little bit of electronic elements in it, and those elements are never necessarily the driving forces of the tracks. They're always there to create a balance, to create a dynamic, to create sound, to create melody, but never being the main focus or the driving forces on any single track. The guitars are really the driving forces. They're really the driver of the album. All the other elements are there just to bring it all together, just to give it a sense of balance. Overall, for the fans of post-rock, this is a very well crafted, very well put together record with some twists and turns. And the twist is really the song structure not being the main focus or the main driving force, but rather the atmospheric elements from the guitars being really the driving force of the record. That is perhaps the main overall twist of the record. But for the fans of post-rock, this is a must listen because it has a lot of cool elements. It's a really well crafted record. As far as songs are concerned, these are the 3 that I picked because I felt that overall these 3 specific tracks really gave different elements to the record. I'm going to start with the opening track on the album, New. This is a song that has an incredible, I would say majestic guitar melody to start it off. It just really gives the song and the album a sense of beginning, a sense of hope, a sense of start. And I like that. I like that start of the record. I like that melody because it really gives the song something and gives the record that sense of beginning. It really stays, that melody stays throughout the record, sometimes more in the forefront, sometimes more in the background, but it stays there. It really gives the song a sense of progression. The song always has a sense of moving forward, of going somewhere. The vocals come in and just add a really nice touch to the track. It just allows the song to be more balanced. It has a better balance to it. It adds melody, it adds a little bit of darkness. The vocals are extremely haunting in this song, which fits perfectly with the overall atmosphere that the track has. So when you combine the guitars and the vocals together in this song, it really has this haze feel to it, this really dark embrace. The vocals also come in at the climax of the track. So from that point on, once the vocals dissipate, there is really a feel of dip and loss of intensity. As the song was creating that intensity beforehand, the vocals were added to that, hits the climax, and then there's a feeling of drop, a feeling of almost life slipping away. I really like that ending of the track. Next is A Handful of Dust. This has a much different vibe to it. Starts off with a keyboard intro, like a really cool melody with almost a heartbeat or out of rate heartbeat in the background. I really like the nuances between the keyboard and that heartbeat. That's what I'm going to call it, with that heartbeat in the background. I really like the nuance that those two elements really come together and really works really well. The keyboard drops out, at least from the forefront of the track. The guitars come in and they become the main conductor of the sound for the remainder of the song. The semi-acoustic guitar element with the vocals together that they introduce almost 2/3 into the track, I really like that. I really like the dynamic that it has, because the semi-acoustic guitars with the vocals, the two are so well intertwined together. One almost hides the other. So I really like the dynamic that those two elements give to the song, with a fainted keyboard melody in the background. So you have these three elements really almost intertwined, where you don't know which one is in the forefront and which one is in the background. The three of them kind of hide each other throughout that portion of the track. So I really like that. I really like the feeling that it gives to the song. The guitar melody on this track overall is breathtaking. It just really takes you on a journey. It's really the driving force. It's really the carrier of all the emotions that the song has. Last but not least, In Solar, this is another track that has great guitar melody. That is pretty much a predominant factor throughout the whole album. But in this song, they added cellos to it. The addition of the cellos on this track gives the song a completely different dynamic. It gives the song a different vibe, a different feel, a different sound, an overall different atmospheric element. Now you don't have just the guitars as the main conductor of sound. You have the guitars and the cellos together, pairing up to be the two main driving forces of this track. The vocals, the way they're used on this song, they're almost blended into the track, so they're almost hidden behind the other elements. And that to me works extremely well on a song like this, because even if they hadn't used vocals, this song would have worked as an instrumental track. So the adding of the vocals and the way they were added almost as a layer, not necessarily as a driving force, not necessarily in the forefront, really works extremely well for a track like this, because it doesn't take anything away from the instruments. It doesn't take anything away from the music that was going on up until that point, and that goes on forward after the vocals drop out. The ending of the track is really phenomenal. It's more cello driven, less guitar. The guitar becomes more of a background element. The cellos become more of a driving force. They become more of the driver of the song. And I really like that for the ending of the song. It just gives the song something completely different that you're not going to get on any other track on this record. Alright guys, this is it. This is Oh Hiroshima's album Oscillation, out July 26. I really enjoy this record. This was a real cool journey. It was an album that just really allowed me to travel with it, and travel almost outside of myself with it. That is the kind of vibe that you're going to get from this record. Leave me your thoughts and your comments in the comment section below. Use that to let me know what you think of the singles, of the record, of the band. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.